ready for the next episode. Can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my snap shoes off, my remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.
Hi guys, and welcome back to next episode with Nick
and Jess.
And today we're actually discussing the Netflix hit Running Point.
Yes.
Did I say it right?
You did. You got it right.
I've been calling this show Running plus Random Word all week. So,
but you got it. You got it. I'm proud of you.
I'm excited. So, do we agree that this show is a true palate cleanser?
Yes, we both agree. True palate cleanser, light. Yes, love it.
I love a show like this. This show could very easily become a comfort show of mine if it was just a little bit more spooky. Because it like immediately from the beginning, like I knew exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like there was like a couple of surprises, but for the most part, I saw everything coming. And sometimes in a comfort show, you just don't want to be surprised. You just want to be entertained.
Yeah, it's like I know what's going to happen, but is the ride fun? Am I going to have fun along this ride? Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And this show, it reminds me of Nobody Wants This. I don't think it's as compelling.
It's not, but I'm also okay with that.
But it's right, but I feel like it's just as enjoyable. Like I really enjoyed it. I thought it was cute. I thought it was fun. I thought it was funny. But Nobody Wants This was special.
It was.
It may be Kirsten. You know, I'm a Kirsten Bell.
You know what I think? No, I don't. Like the writing was more compelling on Nobody Wants This, but what I think Running Point has is this feeling of nostalgia because it feels like a rom-com. Like I know it's not purely a rom-com. It's about this woman kind of inheriting this basketball team and how that affects her life being in a male-dominated field. But because it's Kate Hudson, there's a little nostalgia there with rom-coms. And then we know that there's the rom-comminess is coming. with her.
Yes. And I kind of miss the rom-com era. Like I'm not a natural romance girl, but when I was watching the show, I'm like, man, rom-coms used to hit back in the day. Where have they been?
They absolutely used to hit. And I do miss them because I'm like, that's probably why we've been struggling so much to find light shows because everything has a little air of heaviness. And so it was nice to have something that truly felt light and just fun. And yeah.
Why do you think like rom-coms have kind of lost like some of like the like punch that they used to have? Like it used to be like, oh my God, during the summer, you were going to probably get like 3 or 4 really great like rom-coms, and you would have stars who really like they spent their whole career just doing rom-coms, and that was considered success. That was awesome. Right. What happened to rom-com?
I think got really boring and basic. Like, you know, like even though like, yes, watching the show, I knew exactly what was going to happen, how it was going to unfold, but something just felt fun and fresh about it. Whereas like the rom-coms over the last few years before Nobody Wants This, they kind of felt stale and boring.
I have a person who I feel like is the reason why rom-coms started like failing.
What?
People are going to disagree. His name is, and you know I'm terrible with names, but I'm going to get close enough. His name is Judd Apatow.
Like, Judd Apatow.
Okay, Judd Apatow. I told you I was going to get close. Like I feel like when
does he write rom-coms? Doesn't he write like racy stuff?
He kind of like changed the rom-com format and kind of made them, I feel like, more male-centered.
Oh, that makes sense with Judd Apatow.
And I think like they kind of took on like this mutation, and they lost like some of like the fun when it comes to like women and like this being like our cute little thing that we enjoy. Like they used to call rom-coms chick flicks.
They did.
And I
I'm
think
trying
that
to
they
see what rom coms he made. Oh, ew. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I see what you're saying now.
yeah, and so I feel like stylistically they moved away from like, okay, so think even like Adam Sandler movies, like they were movies that men enjoyed, and like, but like he made like 50 First Dates, he made
Mm-hmm.
The Wedding Singer, and so those are like
Rom com
firmly
classics.
rom-com territories,
Mm-hmm.
even though they were made by a guy, and I feel like they were movies that guys enjoyed too. He
But
still
they were still
understood.
fun.
Right. And so I just feel like Jude Apatow kind of came in
That
and
man's name
he
is Judd.
what is his name?
Judd.
Judd. Judd.
Judd.
No
Judd.
E. in. Okay. I feel like Judd Apatow came in and shook things up, and not in a good way, and we are like slowly now finding our way back.
Mm.
You know?
Okay, so I tried to pull up his rom coms, and so they listed Knocked Up, which I did not care for. I did not,
Mm-hmm.
and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, which I did enjoy, but I also didn't see it as a rom com. Like I'm realizing that was supposed to be a rom com. And then This Is 40. I don't think I remember seeing. He did Bridesmaids. Also doesn't seem like a rom com, but they're listing it as one.
I I did not enjoy Bridesmaids as much.
Oh
Um
wow.
so what is her name? Melissa McCarthy?
Yes.
Melissa McCarthy. I loved Melissa McCarthy
Me
when she
too.
was on the Gilmore Girls.
In a new and special way. I'm
Like
sorry.
she was one of my favorite characters. But when she like some of her comedy is too much for me. And I
Yeah.
feel like her in Bridesmaids, it was that was too much.
I feel like Bridesmaids would not be funny without her. I feel like she made Bridesmaids.
Um it probably wouldn't have been funny without her. I don't know that it was necessarily all that funny with her.
Oh, I love Bridesmaids.
It
Now
was
this,
too
I just
it was
again, I don't think of Bridesmaids as a rom com though. I just think of it as a comedy.
like a what is the one where the guys get like end up roofing themselves accidentally, and they're like in Las Vegas, and they spend the movie looking for their
Yeah,
lost.
yeah.
I
I know
feel
what
like
you're
it's
talking about.
the female equivalent to that movie.
Agreed. And I don't know which one came out
Hangover.
first, but
I
what'd
think
you call
Hangover.
it?
I feel like Hangover came out first,
The Hangover. Okay.
which I enjoyed the first Hangover, and then each one got worse and worse,
Progressively worse.
worse and worse. And so Bridesmaid is like Hangover 2. Like it's not the worst movie ever, but it's doing a little too much for me.
Mhm.
So another thing is maybe I'm out of touch with who like the like prime rom com stars are right now. So I would say
There
one of the
aren't
things
any though. I don't think there are like there are people who do rom coms, of course, but like where we had like clear rom com stars and that's what they did. That was their bread. But I don't think there's like people who just focus like that on their career.
because
For,
my
for,
question is, would I have even given this show a chance if it wasn't Kate Hudson? Like if
Probably
it
not.
wasn't someone from my era.
Yeah, no, it definitely. I definitely saw Kate Hudson, and I was like, okay, yeah, we about to do this.
Right. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days? Come on. Come on. Classic.
Mhm.
Classic. I'm like, I would just give it a try just off the strength of Kate Hudson.
Yeah,
That half of my
that is
classic
absolutely the reason why I watched it,
is Fabletics.
and then I
So
just enjoyed it. So,
we go together real bad. Like
hmm
so but who I'm like, I don't even know who would carry the mantle. Like who there were like some cute so we don't get rom coms, but like we were getting like YA version of rom coms.
hmm
Like gosh, what are the names of the like the kissing booth? Did you see
girl, I did
that?
not watch that. No,
There's like two of them.
no.
And then there's another one. Oh, what is the name of the one with like the Asian girl and like to all the
To the boys
boys?
I loved before.
Yes. Did you see that one?
No, also did not. And maybe, maybe that's it. Like it started to be like teenagers, and I was like, no, I'm good.
Right, and no, that's what I'm saying. Like those are more YA. Those are not like full rom com featuring like
With
younger,
grown
like
people.
right.
Because
These are actually
part of
teenagers.
Nobody Wants This appeal was the fact that they were grown folks. Like they were,
Right. Yes, that they were fully fledged adults. But even if they were like in their early 20s, like I'm like, where are
I
those?
would
Because
still watch
these
it, yeah.
these
Early
like
20s, I would
those.
watch it. I don't want to watch teenagers be inappropriate with each other. I don't. So
So I'm gonna
like,
tell you why I give them I will give those movies a chance because I am someone who, as a fully grown woman, love YA fiction.
mhm.
I
I will read YA fiction more than I will watch YA movies now because and this may be just what is it, trauma from Euphoria. Even though I did not finish that, I don't think I got past the first episode. You're doing too much with teenagers. These are teenagers, and I just need them to be teens and not like no.
Yeah, Euphoria is a lot. It is. It would be a lot if they were
Mhm.
college kids, but the
It
fact
would
that
be a
they are
lot if they were college kids. Like Grownish first season, I couldn't do because I was like, why are we so heavy into to drugs?
mm-hmm,
And these are like 18, 19-year olds.
mm-hmm.
And so like, and I've had other people say like, okay, college is different. That drug use is a lot more common than millennials, we are firmly their children. We listened. What was it? McGruff, the crime dog, was that him? We listened to him hard. So
We
like
did.
our college years was not as filled with drugs. So yeah,
No.
watching Grownish and all that stuff, and I'm like, these are children doing this. I can't do it. But if
Mm-hmm.
it's a truly like, me, if it's like a tween show or something like that where it's going to like, I don't have an issue with teenagers having a storyline. I just need it to be a certain level of cleanliness with their kids.
Mm-hmm. But and then when I gave those shows a chance because I think they came from books. Now I didn't read those books because even though like my YA fiction tends to lean towards dystopic
Yeah,
novel or something like very supernatural.
vampire. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah,
very fantasy, very supernatural. Like I wouldn't watch it. I would feel weird reading a book about teenage relationships
yeah. That's the
unless
thing.
unless I was co-reading. Like if my child wanted
Hmm.
to read that book, I'm like I would read it
Read it
with them just
first.
to know
Hmm.
what they're consuming.
Right.
So I would co-read that book, but for my own enjoyment, like my YA is very I have very specific YA taste.
Yeah, but I think that's safer. Like, yeah, when you're right, because I definitely was an adult when I read Twilight, and I'm like, yeah, but it didn't get that,
No, it was very
it's very
clean. It was
tame. I could do that, and I could do the fantasy because I feel like it doesn't get that deep into the. But like, if you don't, no, I need a certain level of cleanliness if we're talking about actual children.
right. Yeah, I agree.
You know, so that's
It's
why I haven't watched the rom coms because if they are skewing towards younger, because yeah, I saw all the promos for to girl. I'm gonna start messing up names to all the boys I loved before, and to that other one you mentioned, and I was just
the kids.
like,
No, but
no,
they were actually both very clean. They were.
okay,
I will say that. No,
I'll
no,
give them
no.
that.
They
I told you,
both of
it
them.
might be I might be shell shocked because I straight turn Euphoria off. Like
Yeah,
no,
Euphoria is something. Euphoria, and I made it more episodes than you did, but I don't think I made it through the first season. It was way too much for me. It was one of the most graphic shows, like when it came to like drug use and just
mm-hmm,
like it was entirely like
girl,
it was like my nightmare. Maybe
mm-hmm.
I have kids, and you expect well at the
We all
time
do. Because we old, but
the time that the show came out, like I had a child in that age, and I'm
mhm.
just like, I can't
I
watch, I
can't
can't
do
do.
this. Yeah, but I told you, even Grownish, which is probably Chase and Tame for most, that first season, I actually like it better when Junior became the focus than when, girl, I don't know her character's name, but the first Yara
Zoe,
Shahidi's character, Zoe was the lead. I watched the Junior years. After I skipped over Zoe, after I got uncomfortable, and then I watched the junior years. The junior years were better to me, but I couldn't handle her having taken Adderall. I was like, "Why? You just got to college 3 days ago. Why you already on Addies?
Yeah, that's a lot for like the first week of college.
You just
Like you
got
haven't even gotten deep in right. You haven't even gotten deep in this in the semester, and you don't even care about class enough to be taking Adderall, baby.
no, you don't.
Look at that, and like we used to pull all nighters just on the
Just off
street.
of coffee.
Yeah, just like
Remember, they used to be 24-hour Starbucks. We
mm-hmm,
used to we used to pull all nighters off coffee alone.
mm-hmm. Yeah,
I
these
miss them
kids they
24-hour
don't they're
Starbucks.
so weak. They're so weak.
It's a week. Oh my goodness! I will. I have done all nighters, taken a final, written a paper, all in the same 24-hour period, just off
Mm-hmm.
coffee.
Right. I can't do that now though.
Girl, no. Mm-mm. Now, no. I need 6 to 8 hours beauty rest, and please don't schedule too many things a day. Like I told you, part of my activities got got canceled this evening because we old, and it's like, okay, it's the evening. Yeah, we all tired. We ain't gonna make it.
Right. No, like yesterday, I asked my husband to bring me like a glass of water, and he
Mhm.
went downstairs and came back up, and I was asleep. And I was sleep so deeply that
Mhm.
when he was like, "Here you go," like it awakened me, and like I screamed, like I was like, "Oh!" He scared me, and he was like, I bought you the water that you asked for," and I'm like, "Yes, you did." I
And I asked for that water.
deeply, deeply asleep. Like, yeah, I can't. I don't have the all nighters. I don't have the all nighters in
No,
me. I try
but
to
we
get
did
sleep
when
when
we
I
needed
can.
to, and that's what's important.
We did. Do you remember? Never mind.
We
We
took
pulled some all nighters in different places.
Oh, yeah. We'll talk about those all night. All night is around the world.
So, but back to the show. I really, I was really, really excited. I watched it straight through.
Mhm. Yeah, same, same. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love the cast. I love all the people that they had in it. They were really good. I enjoyed the storyline. So basically, this is so just kind of give a brief synopsis. This is
Mm-hmm.
about the okay, girl, why am I stuttering? I'm gonna take all this out. Okay, so this is about Isla Gordon, who is the daughter of a wealthy basketball team owner. And she is put in a position where she is going to have to suddenly take over the basketball team. It's loosely based on the story of Jeannie Buss, the daughter of same situation, the LA Lakers daughter who took over in 2013. Not an exact replica, but it's loosely based on her story. And just all the trials and tribulations she has as a female owner of a team dealing in a male dominant field.
I had no idea this was based on a real person.
Loosely based. Yeah, but yes.
Yeah, yeah, it probably is very loose because like this character, Isla, before she took over the team, she was kind of known in the family as like the screw up. Like
Party
she said,
girl.
yeah, she didn't get the attention that she wanted from her dad. She didn't get the respect that she wanted from her dad. She's had like a love of basketball, but he would really never kind of let her participate. And so she
Because she
kind of
was a girl.
right,
Yeah.
because she was a girl. So she would act out and she did all the typical like Hollywood
Rich
starlet trying to
girl,
get attention.
socialite stuff. Yeah.
Boy, marrying someone, quickie marriages, all of this stuff.
Who hasn't married Brian Austin Green? Right.
If you live long enough, you get to marry Brian Austin Green for 20 days.
Exactly. That's the prize. Mhm.
So basically, her brother, like, kind of takes her to the side and he's like, hey, you need to get your life together. And so he brings her into the family business and he puts her in charge of charities. So she's in the family business, but she's not really doing anything of consequence.
Mm-mm.
She's kind of just like host events. But I personally felt like she was doing a good job in charities.
She was doing a very good job in charities, but again, like her brother is like, you got to get your life together. But then he also puts her in a field where where it's very female dominated within the male dominated field. Like it's like you should do charities. He didn't ask her what she was interested in. She is very knowledgeable about basketball, but none of her brothers ever even consider that she is.
Right. Or I think that they may know that she's knowledgeable. They don't care that she's knowledgeable. they don't take her seriously at
Mhm.
all.
Sandy does not know at all, but that's funny to me because he constantly says that she's not, but he's not knowledgeable about basketball.
He
Ness,
is
I'm not sure that he knows. And then the oldest is the oldest brother Cam. Is that what's the oldest
Cam
brother's
is
name?
the oldest. Sandy
Cam
is the
knows that she's
youngest.
knowledgeable and doesn't care,
Right.
but Ness does not know and Sandy doesn't know. But it's because they haven't, gotten to know that part of their sister.
I don't know. I feel like Ness grew up in the house with her because Sandy is like from Sandy has a different mother. So I think that Ness knows that she knows about basketball, but
Mhm.
once again, I don't think that they care. I think that in that they don't take her seriously because she's a woman, because
Mhm.
their dad didn't take her seriously and their dad didn't take women seriously. So even though they love her, like they love her. There's
They
no
do love
doubt about
her. They do
but
love her
they really look down on her
for
because
being
she's
a
a
woman
woman.
because she's a woman. Yeah.
And I wonder, like, yes, I know that she had like that history of like acting out and doing all that wild stuff, but I wonder, even if she never did that stuff, I feel like they would have still treated her the same way.
I agree because it's an incredibly misogynistic family, including Sandy. Because Sandy
Yes,
doesn't even try to find out. And to me, Sandy actually says some of the most sexist stuff to her.
Sandy is the worst.
He's the worst.
He's absolutely the worst, but
He is
we'll get more
absolutely
on
the
why
worst.
he's the
We'll
worst
get there.
later.
I'm sorry.
But the funny thing is, like, she is so passionate about basketball.
Mhm.
Like, the kind of person that I am, if I was her, like, I would have went to college and I would have studied sports management or something
Mhm.
like that, and I would
Mhm.
have went to work for a different team.
A
Like,
rival company. Absolutely.
right, that is exactly like I'm like, oh, okay, well, you don't
I
respect
would have
me.
embarrassed you, but in a different way.
Like, I would have been like the best
Hmm.
and you would have like literally begged me to come join the team and I
Hmm.
would have never do it.
No, I would absolutely be working for your arch nemesis.
Boston.
Oh, not if I got to live in Boston.
Kate Hudson can live in Boston just fine. You can't
Caitlin
live in
Hudson can
Boston.
live in Boston just fine. I cannot live in Boston. We're gonna
So
have to go to next tier nemesis.
that's what my plan would have been. Like, I can show you better than I can tell you kind
Hmm.
of plan. But that's not the route that she goes. And hey, everybody has their own way.
Yeah, that's
But
true. But she also doesn't have support from really anybody because even like their mothers are kind of a mess too. It's a
right,
lot
even though
because of the
they
stuff
never
that their
see
fathers
them.
do. Like, yeah, you barely see them, but their mothers are a mess too. So like nobody was like, get your life together and go do something. They were like, you're rich and you're beautiful. That's all you gotta be.
I never saw. Did they show any of the moms on the
They
show?
showed her mom briefly as a child, and her mom is like crying and shriveling, and she's trying to. Kate, Lord, Isla is trying to reassure her mom that her father's coming back home, and the mom is a crying puddle of mess, and she's parenting her mom at like 8.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
So basically Isla ends up taking over the team. And when she gets the team is in bad shape.
Hmm.
They're like looking like they're not going to make it to the playoffs. Like, they've got like a troublemaker on the team. They've got like a legacy player who is like kind of mentally checked out when it comes to the team.
Yeah.
And like they're losing their sponsors. Like, the
The
team
whole
is
mess.
is it is a mess. And
Hmm.
I feel like as soon as she gets the role, Sandy, who is her younger brother, starts plotting against her and he ropes
Hmm.
Ness.
He does.
And I was kind of like, Ness, out of all the siblings, is very emotional.
Yeah.
Like, he seems like very emotional and very caring. I was
Hmm.
kind of surprised that he
Me
jumped
too.
on the bandwagon with Sandy so fast.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I was not expecting that from him. And he just seems to genuinely care about each of his siblings, like genuinely. So I'm
Mhm.
like, why would you join on the bandwagon with Sandy? And it's obvious Sandy definitely knows nothing about basketball. Of the whole family, he knows the least. So why are you listening to him?
Yeah, I didn't understand that either. And so, like, as she's getting acclimated to the role, she makes some mistakes, but she also actually like does some really cool stuff. Like they're telling her, they come to her and they're like, "Hey, you need to do X, Y, Z." They don't even come to her and say, "Hey, we have this problem. How do you think it should be handled? What do you think we should do?" A lot of times they come in, they're like, "We need you to sign this paper, and this is
Mhm.
what's going to happen." And
They're
so,
telling her what to do. They're not asking, even
right. But
though
one of
she's in charge.
Right. I love is that she's like, "Oh, okay." And then instead of doing what they ask her to do, she goes and she actually learns about the situation and she tries to find like the best solution, which is not
Yeah,
necessarily what they tell her to do. And most of the time it
most of the
works.
time. Most of the time is yeah. It doesn't always. Which also, she's in a very new role. She went from charities to like what's her title?
President or CEO of
President.
the team?
Uh, yeah, she's the
President.
president or CEO. So you get to learn and make mistakes in that position for most
Right.
humans.
That's
But
how
like,
I feel.
yeah, but only certain people get to make mistakes. But
Well, I felt like when she did good things, like they were just like they were like whatever. It was very neutral. They weren't
mhm,
like, "Oh my god, that's really great." But when she did something, when she made mistakes, they were like, "See, look at
that's
you.
why she
You ain't
shouldn't be here. Yeah.
right." And
Hmm.
like the way they were scheming behind her back was
That
so shocking.
bothered me. Yeah, I'm like, you are
It
her
did.
brothers. Are you serious?
It did. Now I'm gonna also say I don't really understand what her job is. Like, oh, like she's the president of the team, but it
Hmm.
just seems like she deals with like a lot of things that are like minutia that I feel like she shouldn't have to deal with.
Hmm. Like what?
Like, okay, so for example, like when she's like dealing with like Travis, who is like um the the player with the bad attitude, and
Hmm.
then she's dealing with like the player that's mentally checked out. I'm like, Ness, who is her middle brother, is the
Yeah,
GM of the team.
he should be doing that, but he's not competent enough.
But I'm just like, why is she doing like to skip to the end of the show when she's taking Travis to rehab? I'm like, you don't have an assistant coach. Where's the team doctor? Someone else should be able to take this man to rehab. Why
Girl,
are
now
you
that's the
bringing
one.
him
Like,
to
I'm like, honestly, you should just be having a driver drop his behind off at rehab. But at the most, Jackie, like her, who was her assistant by this time, her illegitimate brother that they find out in the show,
I wouldn't trust Jackie to do that.
who becomes her assistant. I wouldn't trust Jackie just because I think he's so young, he could be talked into anything. But yeah, Ness could have done that. I don't know if he would have because I think the issue is that she doesn't have people that she can trust. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But I'm
Because
just
like
like, a legacy big NBA team, you should have support staff. You should not be having to do every little thing.
little thing. And I think how she ends up doing that is she didn't have people she could trust because starts intervening with Travis in the first place because he pisses off a sponsor that she worked her behind off to get. And so getting sponsors, getting like millions of dollars into the team, that makes sense that would be her job. Now, I don't know what a basketball president does either,
I don't
but
feel
like,
like that should be her job.
you know, I don't know. Like we talking about
What is
millions. I
the
would want
marketing
to.
department for? The marketing department should be finding sponsors.
Mm, I don't know if I'm giving your team like millions and millions. Yeah, I want to speak to the person in charge. I want to speak to the
I
top. They're
can
giving like
understand that.
serious millions. They're not giving like
No, I'm not saying she shouldn't be involved at all, but
mhm.
like I feel like they should be finding her list of
Or they should be
people.
setting her up, and then she just have the meeting. They should be like she's
Right.
doing
Like
all the underling. I
right.
got you. I got
They
you.
lost their sponsor because of something her older brother did.
Hmm.
And they're like, "Well, we don't have a sponsor. What are we going to do?" And like she's out here like making cold calls.
Hmm.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but it's again the mess that they left her in. That she has to do all this, and because she can't trust her at every moment, they're trying to undermine her. So I get to the point where I get where she gets to the point where she's doing everything because I got to make sure it gets done. So I got to talk to this knucklehead player because y'all already want to trade him, and I told you not to trade him. And so your
Mhm.
answer is going to, if I give you the inch, you're going to do the thing that I told you not to do directly. So
Right.
so she ends up having to do everything. And like I said, although I agree with you, somebody else should have been driving Travis to rehab. I'm like, all them dudes would have drove him right back to that game.
Mm.
You know what I
But
mean?
that's why you give like you is someone like you get like the assistant.
Her not the assistant, because her title's higher than that, but her best friend who works with her.
Right. I think she does like marketing, maybe.
I can't remember what her title was.
I think she's head of the marketing department or something like that, because she used to be her dad's assistant and then
Mhm,
she transitioned over to what she does now.
mhm,
But yeah, I'm like you can't effectively lead
mhm.
if you can't effectively delegate.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's not her fault fully that she can't delegate, and she's not wrong in not trusting them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe after being there for some time, she'll be able to build a team and they'll build some trust into her. But like, I think that's the hard part of being either a woman or a minority in any position, is that everything, your existence gets questioned every single second, even when
Mm-hmm.
you're making sense. And that's what's happening to her. So she's like, dang it, I'll just do it myself.
So like you see her like kind of excel in this job and
She does really
enjoy
good.
this job, but you also see like it's kind of draining her.
Hmm.
Like she's losing herself, she's losing her work-life balance. It takes a toll on her relationship. Now, I'm going to say this when it comes to her relationship. So, as we're watching the show, before we even ever learn that she's in a relationship, she has a scene with the head coach who's played by Jay Ellison.
Hmm.
And as soon as like they
Yeah.
start the scene, I said, oh sorry, Jay Ellis. As soon as they start this scene, I'm like, oh wow, the chemistry is popping off
Yeah, I
so
already knew.
strong. I'm
Hmm.
like, oh,
That's where it's going.
he's the love interest,
Hmm.
very
And he
obvious.
is. And he is.
But then my shock, you then find out that she has a fiance.
Yeah, a long
And
term boyfriend.
I don't remember his name. I'm going to call
I
him
don't
Schmidt
either.
from New Girl.
Girl, because like if he ain't Schmidt, I don't know who he is. Like, what is
So
this?
Schmidt.
Lev, and it's so freaking easy. His name is Lev.
And so her fiance is played by Lev, who is like so sweet and so adorable and so likable, and he's so sweet to her.
He's adorable.
But there is literally no chemistry there.
Mm-mm.
There's
I was
no.
gonna say I don't feel like they're a good fit. I like him. He's a nice guy, but I don't feel
Mhm.
like he's a good. And for the most part, he does everything right.
He
He does.
does, but they're just not.
They
There's
just
no.
don't.
What I enjoy is sometimes people make it seem like rom coms, because they like the topics are lighter, that there's no skill
Hmm.
in creating a rom com. But for Kate Hudson to be able to have like this intense chemistry that is popping off with
Hmm.
Jay Ellis, and then get to Lev and make it completely no chemistry, is actually a skill in of itself.
Yeah, it is, because I will say this: the guy who plays Lev, Max Greenfield, I'm like, dang, he look kind of cute in this movie.
He's so cute, man. He's always been so like he has like an adorableness. Like he's not to me
Yeah,
like,
but
oh, he's a
did we
sexy
get a
guy,
body
but he's
shot?
like,
There's one time I was like, oh, Max, okay,
but
I never
he's
seen you like that before.
nice, he's handsome,
But yeah,
he's
he's
sweet.
very sweet.
He, he plays a good guy, and you could like see how in another show he would be the guy that the woman was falling like in love with. But
Hmm.
like the way that it's just like they are almost like roommate, like BFFs, it just does
BFFs,
not
they
give
do feel like
love.
they feel more like BFFs. They do.
They do. And I was like, oh, I'm like, how are we breaking this up? It's like
Hmm.
from the
Me
first
too.
scene,
I'm
I
like
was
the
like,
countdown to they break up.
right. And so then
Hmm.
like you're watching like, okay, so you find out they're engaged and you're like, really?
Hmm.
And then like you like find out like they're throwing their engagement party and she's like talking about converting to Judaism, which I thought was very interesting,
Hmm.
because how is it that like the two major rom-coms that have come out both involve women like
Converting to
considering converting
Judaism.
to Judaism? And it's interesting because in this show it was a throwaway kind of situation
Hmm.
compared to Nobody Wants This, where it was like the main one of the main focuses.
Hmm.
He was like, oh, you remember you told me you would convert to Judaism? She was like, oh, I did.
She's like, I said it. That don't even
She's like,
sound like me.
I mean, I guess,
But
you
okay.
know.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't give it like it was like no thought. I'm like, do you
Mm-hmm.
even know what you're signing up for?
No, she don't.
Whereas like in the other show, like you really see like the other character like really spend time in the community, like start really kind of learning and understanding what it means to be Jewish, what it means to have that faith. And like you see it's actually something that she needs for herself, like without the connection to like her boyfriend. Like you see her develop this relationship with Judaism. In this show it was just like it was like a plot point, but it was like such an like not major plot point. Because then
No,
like he's like, you don't know it, you don't even have to do it. She's like,
no.
oh, okay, cool.
Right. I'm like, it was harder for her to decide whether she was going to convert when she realized she was going to lose her inheritance.
I feel like that she really was like, oh, I'm gonna lose my inheritance. You know, that'll be fine. And I'm just like, we would have to talk about that. I'd be like, hey, Lev, sit down, baby.
Girl,
Listen,
girl,
how much money does your family have?
it
Because we
don't
got to make
matter.
this. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. Like we need to figure
It
this
don't
out.
matter. 'Cause see, and you went a completely different route because I would have went to a lawyer and be like, "Is this a clause I can fight?" And if it's not a clause I can fight, sir, I'm not converting.
I just feel like her reasons for converting were like weird anyway. I
Yeah.
I I just think that you didn't even take the time to like learn
Hmm.
about the religion, learn about the culture. Like you're just like, oh, okay. So if you would do that, like you would convert to anything, depending
She
on who
doesn't
you
feel
date.
strongly about it. Yeah, it was more about she like her boyfriend Lev made a lot of sacrifices for her, which he did. He was a good guy. And she felt like she never made any for him. So this was going to be the thing that she gave up for him. But it wasn't about
Right.
her. Yeah, it was. And I'm saying that's kind of a weird reason. Like, yes, if they were going to stay in a relationship, you do need to focus on him more. Like, you do need to make him more a part of your life because she just kind of lives kind of run parallel to him. But
Right.
that's not the thing. That's not the thing you do.
Or even if it is, take it seriously and give it the respect enough to
Oh, okay.
learn what you are like signing up for so
Hmm.
that you can do it wholeheartedly. Because like what like you're the way that she was so nonchalant about the situation, oh yeah, sure, I'll do it. Like, are you really going to like be involved in it? Or are you just gonna be like, okay, yeah, I've converted, and then like not actually carry on the traditions and get involved in the community and
Hmm.
understand the culture so you can pass it on to your kids.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it was the way she had so half-heartedly agreed. I just feel like it was almost disrespectful.
Hmm. That's
That's
it.
how I felt. But like I said, it was a small plot point, kind of thrown away. Like immediately, just as soon as she said she would do it, he was like, "Oh, you don't have to do it," and she jumped out at the chance
Hmm.
to like not get involved. I was very surprised. So like they end up like she misses like a very important event of his,
Hmm.
and they end up breaking up as they should because she really does not respect their relationship, give their relationship the respect they deserve. She doesn't give him the love and attention that he needs.
Hmm.
And I feel like he blames it on her having the new job, but I feel like that dynamic was already in place.
That dynamic was definitely already in place. He does like the only thing, that's what I said, for the most part, he does most things right. The one issue I had with him in particularly where I felt like I didn't like his take on it was
Mhm.
when, okay, so it is after, I want to say it's when she is in the news because people are saying that she slept with Travis because they went out to dinner, right? And
Mhm.
so he's like, basically he's like, oh, I know nothing would happen between you and Travis. And then she's like, I don't know if his office finds out or everybody finds out something. He was like, I just didn't know that this was going to be a part of your new job. And I was like, you don't understand because you don't know what it's like for a woman to do stuff. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like her father can take players out to dinner and it's nothing, but she takes it out in salacious and she's literally just taking out a player to dinner to have a difficult conversation with him, to
Right.
almost like, cuss him out a little bit and say, hey, get your stuff together. But because she's a woman, and that I'm like, I don't know, I felt some kind of way about that because I'm like, I know there's no way for him to understand that because he's a man, but I'm like, but that's the part of the job that's not her fault. Her
Mhm.
like not showing up to your stuff, her not taking your work as seriously. her not taking you as seriously, which because that started before the job.
Right.
Yeah, that's stuff that you need to call her on. But stuff that just literally only happens because she's a woman and she has no control over. She has no control over people writing a story about her sitting at dinner with one of her players. She had no control over the player kissing her.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like what happens? She takes the player out to dinner. It is a romantic restaurant, but again, she had her assistant set up the dinner, which you should be able to do as a person at her level. And he sets it at this super romantic restaurant, and so the player gets the wrong idea. Again, you wouldn't try to kiss her daddy. I don't care what restaurant he took you to.
I don't understand how he got there.
No, she was giving him no signals. But again, we shouldn't even have to have this conversation because I'm your boss.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
He never, and the issue is he doesn't respect her being the boss. The people want to make a salacious story because she's a woman, they can. And so that's the one part where I'm like, I wish somebody could call him on that because it's like, you didn't think it was going to be a part of it because you've never had to live this world as a woman.
Right. So yeah, I was very happy when they broke up. What I was surprised was that like she went and chased after him, like went to his office and begged him not to move and stuff. And I'm like, but you didn't even really like him for real. Like, what are we doing?
I think she liked the idea of getting married. She didn't seem that jazzed about him ever. She didn't dislike him. I mean, he's perfectly likable, but
they were engaged for like 7 years.
Yeah.
And then she's like, oh, there was COVID, and then his mom got a facelift, and then my mom got a facelift. Do you know how many times, like how many people during the COVID time just went and got married, and then like they're like, oh, I'll do a wedding later. Like if you really wanted to be married to that man, y'all would be married.
You could. You also are insanely rich, so you can pull off a wedding in like 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Right. I don't know, like it was their relationship was so dry. Like every scene with her and the basketball coach's name is Luke. What's his name?
Girl, I don't know. I don't want to call his name from Insecure. I'm like, he was Lawrence in Insecure. Is he Lawrence in here also? Jay.
What?
His name is Jay Brown. His real name is Jay Ellis. His name on this show is Jay Brown.
I thought you told me his name was Lawrence before.
His name was Lawrence on Insecure.
Why? It's so I'm so terrible remembering character names. I am. It's just like it's my kryptonite. But
just keep going. I'll correct you.
Thank you. Every scene with him is like sizzling. Like they have such good chemistry. Although I feel like he had his shirt off a lot in this. Like I'm like, you're the basketball coach. Why do you keep ending up shirtless? That's not normal. But like, yeah, so I like towards the end of the show, like they kind of like have a romantic link. But the issue is that he's leaving.
Yeah, he's going away.
You don't think he's going to Boston? Like you think he would stay for? Okay, but listen, his kids are going to be in Boston. Yeah, like, would you expect him if he stays in LA when his kids are going to Boston and he has a job in Boston?
No, but I feel like something's going to happen. His ex-wife is going to get some kind of brand deal. His, you know what I mean? Her new man is going to get a job. Something's going to happen to with them kids and him stay in LA. He's not going to Boston. I don't believe it.
Well, at least we agree that if he doesn't go to Boston to be with his kids, we don't respect him.
Or they're going to go to Boston and realize they're Black and they come back.
She's the wife and her the ex-wife and her new man are not Black.
But the kids are.
I don't think they're gonna care. But so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens next season. I don't know. I kind of so the season ends in kind of a sort of a cliffhanger because the brother gives her control of the team so that he can go to rehab. Mm-hmm. And so he pays, like he bribes his therapist so that he can get out of rehab early. Mm-hmm. And I feel like he only does that on the strength that like Isla's actually doing a good job with the team.
Mm-hmm. Oh, all of it. He also planted the story that Marcus Marcus. Now I'm forgetting people's names.
Travis?
No, Marcus was leaving, or they were going to trade Marcus. Because remember that was a big thing
Oh,
about,
oh, the checked out player. Yeah, the checked
yeah,
out
the
player.
checked out player. So, and he is the one who planted that story with the podcaster.
Mm-hmm.
So he does a little, yeah. I think he always planned on coming back and taking that, but like I think he's like, oh, he's coming back early, and so he's trying to set her up for a fall because he wants to come back early because she's doing such a good job.
So do you think that he's trying to come back early because he's scared that if he waits too long, they won't give him back the job?
Yes, which I honestly, I'm like, I don't know why you thought you was getting this job back anyway. Because no matter what, if I was on that board, you're not getting this job back. You would already lost millions of dollars in a sponsor because of you. Like, I don't care. Like, I hope you do get clean, but you're not getting your job back.
But here's the thing. Why I think that they would give him his job back.
Hmm.
One, like he was actually really good at the job of being president. Yes, he
Was
was
he?
a
The team was in a mess when he left.
the team was, but they didn't lose the sponsor until his little drug incident.
Yeah, but
Like the
that's
team
part of your
was
job. It's keeping up your
was
appearances.
the team
Was he
did
good?
have issues, but when I say like he was
Mhm.
good at his job, he was well liked and well known to be a good president. Like he had a good relationship with the board, he had a good relationship with the team, he even had a good relationship with Marcus, the checked out player.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So no, the team itself was not having a good season,
Mhm.
but I don't think that they were blaming it on the brother being president the way that they blame every single problem on the sister being president. Is that fair? It's not.
Agreed, but they should have been. That's what I was about to say because the team was also $2 million over it, over their salary cap. The team
Mhm.
was in a free fall, and you weren't doing anything about it. The Marcus, you taking these players out to strip clubs and to do drugs, and they like you, but they're not performing well. So no, you're
Mhm.
not good at your job. You're just likable.
But I think that he was seen to be good at his job, which is why I think that when he came, like, because he's a male and
Yeah,
he's
but
like the head of that
but that's the thing.
family,
You're
I
a
think that
male, and you are a male that's allowed to fail up.
right. I think that they would have given his job back. I
Oh,
think
okay.
so. I
I
think
would.
he
They
started
might
getting
have. I wouldn't
scared.
have.
I think he started getting scared because like Isla was like an undeniable success.
Yeah,
Like she was really like making waves, like going and getting a new sponsor when he was the reason why the
they lost
sponsor
their
left.
old sponsor.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like when like getting
Hmm.
Travis in line, bringing in that guy from like the D League and actually making him like a
A better
good player.
player. Hmm.
You know what I mean? Which is really saving the money because he's getting paid dust. You
Yeah.
know what I
And
mean?
that's
But
and that's
he
the thing. She traded another player, and that's how she got the $2 million that they were over. She got them under,
mhm.
and she brought in more money with the sponsor. So they were even in a much better position. So
No,
she
she's
actually,
doing an she's
yeah,
doing an awesome job, and I think that scared him because I think that he thought that she could just
place hold.
yes, that she her job was just to keep the seat warm, and if the
Mhm.
season turned out bad, it was they could blame it on her being
Mhm.
there. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And
Mhm.
when she actually took like that little pile of trash they gave her and turned it into like treasure, he's like, oh, I got to get out of rehab now. And so I think he's going to try to get his job
He
back. I
is.
think maybe that's what the second season is going to be about, him trying to get his job back. And it's going to be very, very interesting because what do you have to stand on?
You don't nothing. But so okay, have you ever heard of the term the glass cliff?
No, I've only heard the glass ceiling.
So okay, but the glass cliff is when a company hires a woman, a female CEO, right before when they already know they're going to go into a major decline,
Mm,
and that's what
I've
she
never
was.
heard that before.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
like it's
interesting.
been studied, it's been researched. Like they'll hire, like, and you see a company that's never had a CEO, a female CEO, and all of a sudden they get a CEO, female CEO, and then they fall
Hmm.
off. They were already going in that decline before they hired her.
Wow.
Hmm.
So then, yeah, I mean, I think that's why he did it.
Hmm.
if in thinking like that with that piece of information, it makes sense why he didn't promote one of his brothers in that
Hmm.
spot.
Yeah.
Even though I feel like he may not have known that they were less qualified. I don't think that they have like the problem solving skills that she
No,
has.
they don't.
I don't think they have the strategy that she has,
They don't.
you know. So I do think out of all the siblings, she was the best person for the job.
She
But I
actually
don't
was.
think Cam promoted her thinking that she was the best person for the job.
Agreed. Agreed. Like if he had promoted Ness or Sandy, he probably thought they'll just be as likely. They would have went to him for everything because they would have had to, and so the team would have continued to run exactly how he ran it. But
Hmm.
like I said, I think it already looked like it was going to go in decline. We just need to keep somebody in the family seat long enough so that it doesn't go outside the family, and then he can pick it back up when it comes back. But she ended up doing a good job because, like, if you,
Speaking of going to
mhm.
Cam, I don't think did she ever go to Cam for anything because the guys they went to Cam like and visited him in rehab and was like trying to get them to help. I don't think she ever did that.
No, not that I remember.
That's interesting.
Hmm. Yeah. And then I'm like, and Sandy, I'm like, Sandy doesn't know what a basketball is. So, like, if you thought he could run the team, I don't know why he thought he could run the team. That's what I
I
think.
don't
That's what
know.
really pissed me off with Sandy because I'm like,
Mhm.
sir, you don't even know how to dribble. Like, what was you going? to You literally think that penis makes you better at work?
The funny thing is that his solution was to get rid of Isla and then he and Ness co-run the team. And I'm like, okay, if Isla's running the team by herself and Cam was running the team by himself, if it takes the two of you to run the team, that means you guys are half as good,
Hmm. If that,
if that. Like Sandy's good with numbers, but he has no humanity at all.
no,
And nor does he understand the game of
no, you
basketball. He
don't
does
even
have,
know the game.
but he also has no humanity. Ness is all humanity
Hmm.
with no work ethic. I feel like
No common sense.
I don't
That
know.
man
I
can't
can't
follow
figure out what
Bridgerton. I
his
can't.
job is.
Hmm?
What is his? I don't understand what his job is.
Girl, I don't know. I
Like
don't really know. He just kind of sit in that office.
that's how I feel. He's just in the. That's why I'm saying like some of the stuff that she's doing. I'm like, shouldn't that be the job of the GM?
Yeah, but I think, but again, them being men and allowed to just kind of fail and do whatever they want to do, like they're just, yeah, you literally are just sitting in there warm in that office. You are not doing anything of consequence, but you think you can run the team.
Well, here's the thing. Ness did not want to run the team. Like he
But he
was
was willing
like
to overthrow his sister. I know he
when
was led by
Sandy
Sandy.
came with him. When Sandy came to him, he was willing to join forces with Sandy, but he was not like, "Ooh, I want to be the boss." But he's
Mhm.
always looking. Ness is always looking for connection. I
Yeah,
feel like.
he
And
is
so I feel like it was more about Sandy coming and like wanting to do
asking for
something
something.
with him,
Yeah, that's true.
that he's like, oh yeah, sure, we can team up. Yeah, we can spend more time together. We can talk. And that's why I feel like Ness joined forces with Sandy. I don't think that Ness desires to be the president at all.
True, true.
So I don't know. It's an interesting like the family dynamics are very interesting, and I
Girl,
honestly want to get into them more and on a deeper level. So I think that would be the best place to start our next episode. How does that sound?
sounds really good.
All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Our next episode, we're going to dive deeper into the family dynamics of the Gordon family from Running Point.
I'm ready for the next episode. Can't wait to get home and turn my TV on. I'm ready for the next episode. Got my snatch shoes off, no remote control. I'm ready for the next episode.